New York's legendary, right? And it's not legendary for the bankers or the insurance agents that I have co-opted the place. It's legendary because of the energy of the art. And a lot of the art in New York, the legendary art in New York, was made in this area, in the Lower East Side. If you're an artist and you want to wake up every morning thinking, I gotta get something going. If you just want to be part of this effervescence, this crazy electricity going, this is the place. I actually arrived straight in this building and I had some records that I hadn't finished and I was looking for a room to finish those records. And so I took the room for, I said, 2 months. 2 months and then I'm out. And now I have the whole building. It just kind of mushroomed into it. And the scene here was crazy, and the quality of the music was crazy, and the musicianship was out of control. So that was good for me because being able to work with other people who were doing way different stuff was awesome. So arriving in this building by complete happenstance and meeting everybody here allowed me to create this community, which is now a focus for me. Whatever I can do to help out the music scene in New York, I do. This building is wild. Basically what happened is a couple drummers needed a place to do drums because you're in New York City, you have neighbors everywhere. And that was in the 90s. So they built what is now Flux Studios. At the time it was called Dangerous Music. But it was so special that a bunch of big artists came down. There's stories of the Rolling Stones coming down and writing a whole bunch of Bridges to Babylon upstairs in what is now the Dangerous Room. And that room over there we call Transporter because that's what it was called when the Strokes recorded that record. And every room has its own name to pay respect to the legacy of the building. And there used to be a lot of studios in Manhattan, but because of costs and happenstance, there are very few left. So we're one of the last ones. So my idea was to not make another corporate studio. First, I couldn't afford it, so this was a good way not to do it. And then second, I don't like to walk into a studio and feel like I'm being charged by the hour when I go somewhere. All my studios look like my living rooms, pretty much. It's a comfortable place. It's a music creation place. I keep my rooms open and friendly. A lot of the design aesthetics of the place is basically like a French 19th century salon, right? Lots of red velvet and lots of copper and cherry wood and stuff like that, because those are the things that I find warm and that talk to me and make me feel comfy and lower my blood pressure and make me want to stay there for 14 hours every day, 7 days a week. A lot of people come here to write music, a lot of people, because we have a lot of instruments, because I have a slight but perceptible instrument fetish, so I buy a lot of instruments. So there's all sorts of crazy stuff in this building. Like pretty much every synth ever made of value is here somewhere on one of those floors. And they travel. We have lots of guitars, crazy amount of amps. So they're available for everybody who comes here to use them. And that makes a really special vibe. This room was my launching pad for this madness that is now Flux Studios. So I mixed thousands of songs in this room and produced and recorded and what have you in this room. So I know this room very well. So when we decided to do an Atmos room, I knew that this would be the best possible room for that. And I thought the acoustics of the room are just right and the size is just right. So we settled on making a 914 room. And we did not change the structure because the room already sounded great because we've been mixing in here for years. But we basically reorganized the entire system. We moved the mixing position into the optimal position for Atmos music and then hung 4 speakers on top and then made the surround around. So it's a 914, all done with Focal speakers with a Trinnov D-Mon12 monitoring system. I see that the Dolby Atmos music is a new avenue for artists, and I see independent artists understanding that for artistic reasons and also for pure commercial reasons. The fun thing to do is to bring someone in this room and play them a very active Atmos mix, because it really gives them the opportunity to experience how far you can go. And then you play something very subtle. And some people sit here and they go, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's great. It feels good. I don't see a big difference with stereo. And say, hold on one second. You play the stereo record on the same speakers and they're like, oh. Right, it's like, oh. So once you're in an Atmos room and you can really experience it, that's when you really get it. I cannot wait for every studio in the world to have an Atmos room so that everybody can experience that. It truly is a way to be inside the music as opposed to looking at the music. You really are part of it.